Right, everybody, welcome to the show.
That's pretty good.
I've heard the name Jake, but I don't know very much about him. I'm gonna have to look into that. Did you see all the trades that went down today, Snacks? There were literally, like, people were getting traded, like, a player could get traded twice within, like, the span of a couple hours. The trade deadline went absolutely bonkers today.
I wonder how big this place is.
Saw a couple of memes, but I already know about the big ones, and the rest of them are pretty.
John Wall is back in Houston.
Impressive. That must be where all this leads. Someone didn't want casual visitors down here.
Yeah, the lesson is always, you know, you have a big problem when your sports team is owned by a woman, I guess. Good lord.
That's true.
Hey, Austin.
I wonder if any of my spells will help me through this. Accio! Incendio! Protego! Stupefy! Stupefy! Accio! Levioso! Expelliarmus! Stupefy! Protego! Accio!
Shit. I fucking hate spiders.
Not gonna touch those. Ugh.
I agree.
Accio! Potato! Stupefy! Stupefy! Accio! Stupefy! Levioso! Incendio! Stupefy! Potato!
God, this part of the game is making me feel uncomfortable.
Stupefy! Stupefy! Protego! Levioso! Accio! Incendio!
I fucking hate him. Hey, Chronic, what's up? Ooh, nice level up. Tight, tight, tight. They called her Biznatch.
I should cut out their eyes. I see what you're saying.
I know, big country.
Accio! That platform ought to be able to float straight to me.
Yeah, I know, dude. I figured it out already. Oh, shit.
Potato! Stupid one! Levioso! Incendio! Stupid one! Accio! Levioso! An untouched chest. Jackdaw wasn't very thorough in his search of this cave.
Oh, thank God, a potion. I needed that. I don't know. I don't think that Suns team is that great. They've got CP3, who is really old. They've got KD, who is also kind of old. And Devin Booker's good, but...
There's only one ball.
Right.
Accio!
Here's my prediction for who's going to win the championship. Miami Heat. Easy peasy.
About to get melty in Miami.
That's right. We're going to go 16-0. No losses. Just all sweeps.
And
Easy peasy.
Finals MVP Myers Leonard.
Oh, man. It's kind of
Who the
funny
heck
to me
has
that the
skeleton
political
in sight?
correctness that got rid of him legitimately made us a
But I
worse
may
team.
as
We've
well
never
help
been as
myself
competitive
to
since.
Yeah, that's the thing you guys need to understand. Snacks is only a Heat fan because of Myers Leonard.
Exactly.
Accio!
Yeah, so Snacks, one thing that happened during the trade deadline is a lot of trades were like a player in exchange for 5 second-round picks. So basically, teams just kept trading second-round picks like they were nickels. But I'm looking at it like, don't about 5% of second-round picks pan out? Like, how is that worth anything?
Yeah, for the most part, they're garbage.
Like, it feels like in the average season, maybe 1 second-round pick pans out.
In the average season, maybe one pick in general works out. Most people suck. Somebody said getting rid of Beverly for Mo Mamba. Steve.
Protego! Stupid one!
What?
He means Mo Bamba. Remember Mo Bamba?
La 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 Mo Bamba.
Levioso! Accio! Accio!
Oh wait, Patrick Beverly.
Stupid one!
Did they trade the bust?
Well, if Jackdaw could solve this, so can I.
The Warriors gave away Wiseman.
Not my fault you're a deadly great spider.
The Warriors gave away Wiggins?
No, Wiseman.
The Urban Falcon. Actually, that reminds me. What's Harrison Barnes up to? July of 2021,
Perhaps the
Harrison
next symbol
Barnes
is
was
hidden
sentenced
somewhere.
to 17 years in federal prison for the rape and murder. Oh boy.
The heck? Are you serious?
Just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, he's on the Kings. Right now.
The first thing you said would have been better.
Pretty much. Didn't he get paid like outrageously on the Mavs? Yes,
Yeah,
he did. A 4-year, $94 million contract. Holy shit.
Remember Yama's hard on for Harrison Barnes?
Yes, it's because they both went to the same college, if I remember correctly. UNC.
Yeah, that's where Jordan went.
Yes. And it was funny because Yama was the first one to start parodying that fucking nickname, constantly telling people, calling him the Black Falcon.
Yeah.
It's a good thing Jackdaw.
And I was
didn't swim
fucking with
around
Yama
there.
one time. I'm like, hey man, isn't that a little offensive? Shouldn't you call him the Urban Falcon? And Yama was like, what the fuck are you talking about? He tried to say some shit like he was calling him the Black Falcon because of his shoes or something. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? So I just started calling him the Urban Falcon, fuck with him, and then like a bunch of Cavs fans thought that was the funniest fucking thing I'd ever said. I just kept saying it.
I'm glad Richard Jackdaw left a little something behind for me, but where could he?
Why is this game called a genocide simulator? When is Geno going to copyright genocide? I'm pretty sure that the copyright for genocide is still belonging to, let's just say, a foreign market. I put money on it that Kyrie leaves the Mavs in a couple of years. Yeah.
By a couple years, I think you mean a couple days.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I'm like, dude, fucking. Gino already trademarked I ain't wrote back. Ugh.
Yeah. After the first game of the year, he had the quote, everyone was writing me off, but I didn't write back, or I ain't wrote back, or whatever.
That is awful. Why would you copyright that? On what planet is that going to make any money?
Stupefy. Levioso. Incendio. Accio.
See, this is what I'm talking about. 'Cause I'm watching your stream right now, which is fine. Now, giant spiders. Now, of course, it'd be different if giant spiders were like a real life thing, encountered one in real life. But as a video game opponent, I don't see them being threatening because all they're doing is just smacking you with their legs.
Yeah, I mean, I just personally have a spider phobia, so anything to do with spiders.
I'm not trying to explain away that to be like, hey, you shouldn't be scared of spiders anymore. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, all the spiders are doing is smacking you with the leg. So if you didn't have a spider phobia, how would they seem to be a threatening enemy? Because it'd be more threatening to me if I was going up against something that like actually would use its legs in a fight of some kind. A gigantic gorilla enemy. I would hate to fucking fight a silverback. I'd be like, oh shit. You know, like
Levioso. Incendio.
think about how threatening a charging grizzly was when you're playing Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah.
Because you know how fucking threatening and scary grizzly bears are when you're just playing as a regular human man. And the only thing you've got is a gun.
Incendio. Potato. Stupefy.
Even a charging grizzly wouldn't be as threatening if you're playing as a wizard who's got magic.
Expelliarmus.
But if it was like a fucking grizzly that was like 10 times its normal size,
Accio.
Incendio.
Incendio.
What if it was a 50-foot tall Daisy Ridley?
Computer, increase my olfactory sense by 500% in engage program. The fucking lawn chair and the goggles. He's making T-shirts.
Oh, the Geno Smith quote. Okay.
That's
They're Geno
odd.
Smith,
I'd have thought
t-shirts.
Jackdaw would have been interested in this loot, but there's no sign of him.
I think he'd make more money if he just trademarked his dong
What a
imprint
headless
and then
skeleton
sold
in sight.
sweatpants.
But I may as well help myself to this.
Remember that one time that Sean Howard got arrested?
That was amazing.
How many quality dongs do you think he saw in jail? Oh man.
Accio.
If I Google Sean Howard, that's the first fucking thing that pops up. Oh god, I can't believe it. Wow, that was a long time ago.
Look at this photograph. Every time I do, it makes
It was
me laugh.
so long ago, it was 2011 when this game got made. God.
2011. It really feels like the last couple years have just flown by. Part of me still feels like it's 2020.
It's because we're all waiting for life to go back to normal. But, they're not letting that happen.
Yeah.
I don't want to say anything anti-Semitic. However,
Oh boy.
this game doesn't really seem that entertaining. I gotta be honest.
I mean, like I said, it feels like a somewhat stripped down BioWare game. And I'm happy with that. But I can definitely understand that I don't think you would have much interest in it because I don't think it's deep enough compared to something like Mass Effect or Dragon Age. So yeah, I think that's, sensible to assume that it might not be something that intrigues you.
What I also really like in RPGs is party-based RPG combat. It doesn't have to be turn-based. It doesn't have to be, like the combat system in like Final Fantasy and the combat system in Mass Effect and the combat system in Knights of the Old Republic are all very different. But what they all have in common that I like is party-based
chest.
combat.
Jackdaw wasn't very thorough in his
So
search
you
of this
have
cave.
the healer, you have the tank, you have the damage dealer. I like that. I don't like RPGs where you're just the one guy by yourself. I like when you're the main character and you can change things up however it is that you like. You know, in Dragon Age, you could choose to be a wizard. And there's different types of wizards. You could be a control mage using elemental spells. You could be a damage dealing mage using blood magic. Or you could be a healing mage using the
There it is.
healing
The bridge
magic
is
spells.
almost complete.
Or you could choose
More
to be
spiders.
a
These
rogue
can't be what beheaded Richard Jackdaw.
who uses 2 daggers and backstabs people. Or you could choose to be a sword and board knight, even become a Templar to hard counter mages. And that choice never inhibited you from being able to succeed in the game because you had the party and you could pick the companions that you go out with to cover your fees. I like that system, but I don't see party-based combat in this game, and I think that is a huge, huge misstep. And the reason why is because this is taking place in Hogwarts, you know? It didn't have to be an incredibly rich and detailed companion system on the level of a BioWare game. But, you know, you could have had different party members based off of which house you chose.
Yeah. That is, I agree, that is definitely a missed opportunity. The cynical part of me wonders if they're going to put that in a DLC or something.
Levioso. Potato. Incendio.
Because, I mean, when you think about Harry Potter stuff, you know, the game of, or rather, the series, of course, takes place from Harry's perspective. But he always has Ron and Hermione with him.
Yeah.
And then,
Incendio.
from year 5
Potato.
onward, when he starts up Dumbledore's army, he's pretty much always got somebody else with him. Not just other Gryffindors, you know. There was everybody in Dumbledore's army except for Slytherins.
Yeah.
And here we are, a century previous, you know, there wouldn't be as big of an
Imagine how
inter-house rivalry, so you could sit there and be like, well, you know, when you choose Slytherin, it means that the Gryffindor companions that are available to become in your party aren't available until later in the game, but you get immediate access to the Slytherin companion. You know, that would be interesting.
Well, I mean, you do have a friend system in this game. You can choose who to hang out with at certain points, but so far, the only time I have a party member is when I'm dueling in the duel club. So I don't know if that's eventually going to become part of the game or not, but so far it hasn't been much.
Did you see that Brett Favre is suing Pat McAfee and Shannon Sharp for comments on their shows about him stealing the welfare money?
I did see that, yeah.
I remember when John Madden said, if you cut off both of Brett Favre's arms and both of Brett Favre's legs, he'd still be the best torso in football.
I remember when John Madden drew a penis on the Telus.
I'm glad
Twitter.
Richard Jackdaw left a little. I need to look around for the scene.
I wonder if that ever happens, and I'm good. Madden draws
If you can't find the video, it's because someone took it down, because there used to be a video.
I found it. Got 430,000 views 15 years ago from Super Bowl 21.
Yeah.
That was actually like, as I mean, it kind of looks like a dick, but mostly it just looks like someone vomited spaghetti all over the fucking screen. Because that was the best thing about when he'd be
Must be
drawing
getting
shit.
closer
He'd
to
just keep
Jackdaw's
going, and
remains
it'd
and
just
those
be a
pages.
jumbled, shitty mess. You're like, dude, John, what the fuck?
We meet again, Richard Jackdaw. Oh, shame. Those splinters must be what's left of Ollivander's wand. At least I can take the pages. Here it is. The map that brought your doom, Jackdaw.
Oh
Is
man,
there something beyond
what an
this
absolute
one?
legend.
Accio.
So in the middle of the game, Harrison Barnes was traded to the Sacramento Kings. It's pretty funny.
Incendio.
He was actively playing for the Mavs, and then they traded him. So then the coach benched him and told him to go back to the Mavs.
What if they didn't bench him and then he got a career-ending injury during that game?
That would have been hilarious. That is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. In the fucking Wikipedia page for Harrison Barnes, it literally says right here, on July 14th, 2020, he tested positive for COVID-19. That's its own paragraph. That is just, who cares?
Yeah, everyone's tested positive.
Exactly. If you've been sick in the last 3 years, you've had COVID.
Accio.
'Cause there's no way if you've been sick at all in the last 3 years, you didn't have
Expelliarmus.
the ability to test positive for COVID. COVID's just the flu now. The flu is gone forever. It's just COVID.
Levioso. Incendio. Accio. Expelliarmus.
not think that through.
Expelliarmus.
Oh man, that's pretty funny. It's this Reddit thread. Is Harrison Barnes the worst openly gay player in NBA history?
I thought there was only one openly gay player in NBA history.
Levioso. Accio. Expelliarmus. Incendio.
Yeah, I agree.
But
Arizona should have kept
nothing.
Kingsbury.
What's happening?
Even if you think he sucks, just keep him.
They should have had this game take place in the 40s and you could join Grindelwald.
They should have had this game take place in, like, 1000, the year, like, 1200 or something, so you could shit on the floor.
Oh man. They should have had this game take place in 1066 so that as an English wizard you could shit on the floor and fight off the invading French.
And then, like, you could run as headmaster. A poo for every loo.
Jones is wanted for murder. This is absurd.
You know, for years and years, when I first read the Harry Potter books, I always assumed that Sirius Black was black. And, like, now, when I saw the movies and realized they were going for something else, now that I think about it, that was like, why did I think that? There was no logical reason for me to think that.
It's because his name was seriously black.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, for some reason I always had that image in my head.
When I was a kid, because like the Harry Potter books came out when we were all like
Gringotts and
7
the
or 8 or some
restricted
shit.
section.
When I was reading the first book, I thought her name was pronounced Hermy1. Because I had never seen that name before in my life. So it wasn't until I'm listening to the audiobooks like some years later when I think the first time was when the fucking movies came out and they said Hermione and I was like, what the fuck is Hermione?
Well, remember in the 4th book when she actually wrote a scene where she has to explain how to pronounce her name to Victor Crumb?
Yes.
Specifically
And that-
for that reason?
Yes, because a lot of people didn't know how to pronounce that name. Because
Where am I?
apparently it's a name that only English people are aware of. Because it's like, okay, how many women have you ever met in your entire life?
The room's starting to
They're
flood.
named Esther.
Yeah, that's pretty rare. I haven't
Exactly.
met any off the top of my head.
How am I being protected?
Exactly. It's like, well, you know, I'm aware that that could be a name, but I have never fucking heard that shit. That's
Yeah.
kind of what it's like also in England, where they're aware that it could be a
I
name,
can only hope this magic protects me until I'm able to make my
but they're
way out
not
of here.
really. They don't really know anyone with that name.
What is this place?
So, in much the same way that if you were ever to meet someone named Esther, you'd be like, oh yeah, I guess that's a name. Instead of being like, your name is Esther? Is that even a name? What the fuck? What the hell were your parents thinking? Instead, you'd be like, oh, okay.
What's
But
the name
it'd
of
still be.
Elon Musk's kid? What was that name?
Oh god. What is Elon Musk's kid's name? Wow, that's hilarious. A Washington
Can it
Post
be?
article that says Elon Musk's baby's name isn't just weird, it's against the law in California. Wow.
Some of these locations are in modern Harry Potter. Like Hogsmeade is a location in modern Harry Potter.
Oh, and of course, a lot of people will make fun of Elon for the whole thing, but apparently it was the mother of that child
It's
who
you.
chose that
Has
name.
someone
Really?
finally found our
Grimes?
map
Yeah,
chamber?
so
I recognize you from
he
the
was like,
Pensives.
well,
You're Professor
blame
Rackham.
her for
I am
how
indeed.
fucking strange that
I
is.
must confess that I am surprised to see someone so young standing before me.
I'm the same age that you and Isadora Morganach were when you started at Hogwarts.
You've paid attention, and might I presume you share our ability?
To see traces of ancient magic. Yes, sir, I do.
As you have likely realized by now, our ability gives us a unique relationship with all forms of magic. We can access
He says the name is
expressions of
pronounced
magic that few others
X
can.
A12.
Opportunities will arise that allow you to sharpen this rare talent. Do not squander them.
I won't, Professor. Thank you.
We have much to discuss. But first, a map found in a certain book led you here.
It was
Place
his
the book
girlfriend and
on the
Canadian
pedestal.
singer Grimes
I
who
don't have
came
the
up with
book
the
with me,
name.
sir.
That
But
is
he contributed the
unfortunate.
A12
I'm
portion,
afraid
and it's because
we
it
must
referred to
pause
the
our
Archangel
conversation
12, which is an
until you
aircraft. So he
return
literally
with the
named
book.
his kid literally after a plane in terms of the contribution to the whole thing. I would have picked A10. I would have named my son that
I'm a bit confused,
because
sir.
I don't want
Why
people
is
to
this
refer to
room
my
called the
daughter
map
as a
chamber?
warthog.
I assure you that
But,
all will be clear
the
once the book
A10
has been placed
Warthog
on the pedestal.
Is pretty damn.
The statues and carvings in the house.
No,
on
Sandy,
the
you're
cliffside.
right.
Those are of you.
Those are just different
Are you a Seer?
rather, those
I
are just
am.
different ways
Did
to
you know
spell
that I would be
Esther.
here?
I
But it's
cannot
still
say
the same.
more at present,
Whether
except to
there's
say
the
that
H
your
in there or
presence
not,
here
it's still Esther.
does not entirely surprise me.
It's kind of like how, you
Very
know,
well.
we
I'll
spell
retrieve the book
color
right
like
away.
that,
Good.
and then the English
We
spell
shall
color
speak again once the book is in
like
place.
that.
Yeah.
Still the exact same fucking word.
Ooh. Oh, all right. I just unlocked the talent system. So let's see
Nice,
here.
you just unlocked Gwent.
Okay, spells, dark arts, core, stealth, room of requirement. Okay, I'm definitely going to look at dark arts here.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm like,
Stupefy. Blood curse.
dealing damage to a cursed target inflicts damage to all cursed targets.
Expelliarmus is the
Expelliarmus
same
has the
effect.
same effect as a curse on enemies. Cursed enemies take increased damage.
Okay, oh, wait a minute.
It's going to be delayed for me because I'm reading this off of the stream with the flipendo kick. Killing an enemy with a Vada Cadaver kills all cursed enemies. Wow.
I only have to get to level 22 to unlock...
To unlock the ability to commit an atrocity.
Yeah.
Professor Dumbledore, check this out!
Some of you kids are pretty cool. Don't come to the sorting ceremony.
Some of you blokes are worth raising a pint with. Don't come to potions class tomorrow. Oh, man. So, this is where Grimes, what her bullshit was coming from. X, it's because it's the unknown variable. And then she posted an emoji of crossed swords. Then Ash, which is the AE thing, it's the Elven spelling of AI, which means love in Elvish or something. And then A12, which was Elon's contribution because he likes the plane. That kid's gonna end up being like a professional MMA fighter or something, because if he doesn't grow up an absolute badass, he's gonna get bullied so hard.
I feel bad for him, but I don't because he's Elon Musk's son.
Yeah, I know. Interesting. Since 1979, Antarctica has actually gained mass. Yeah, I remember. I'm sure I've told you this story before, but I did a report when I was in college the first time. There's an anthropology course I was taking in, I think it was 2012. And we because it was a general education course and it was Anthropology 100s. It's like the very first course you can take. It was treated also, you know, of course there's a focus on anthropology and all this, but it was also like for projects and stuff, it was kind of a general science class. So the project we had was to write a report on an article, just any general science article. So
I found the
I was
pages
reading this
and the
article
map chamber.
published
Why
by
would I need the
NASA. It was
book?
talking about there's actually record amounts
I've
of
always
ice
said
growth
that travel broadens the mind.
and complete defiance of expectations that people had because, you know, global warming, blah, 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 the ice is going away. And what the article was talking about is they were like, yeah, there's record amounts of ice growth. So they said, they're like, well, it's weird because the glaciers and the ice caps and all this, they're melting in the summertime, and they're melting at an accelerated rate that we've never seen before. But then when they go to freeze
I'm
again in the winter,
back
they
at
freeze
Hogwarts.
also at a rate that we've never
I
seen
wonder when
before.
Professor Fig will be
So it's like we're swinging back and forth
Promised him I wouldn't neglect my
between the two
studies while he was
extremes.
away.
But
Suppose I have enough to distract myself with till he returns with
it
the
doesn't
book.
seem like they're in any danger of melting forever because they just keep seeming to grow more and more ice every time they freeze. And I remember presenting that in class, and my professor was a legitimate doctor. You know, he had a doctorate in anthropology, and he was very highly qualified, and had been working in this field for decades. And he was absolutely fascinated by the whole thing. He kept asking me a ton of questions. And he was like, "Wow, that's really something. I can't wait to look more into this because that really challenges a lot of the currently established preconceptions that we have." And our understanding of both how climate change is taking place and also what the future could end up being like for the polar ice caps. So I thought I did a really fucking good job. I attend a lecture that the guy gives later that same exact day, where he talks about how awful global warming is, and the dude says in his fucking shtick, he's like, the polar ice caps are melting. They're not going to be there anymore in a couple of years. I was like, wait a minute, didn't you read the like, that was actually from NASA. I had sources and everything. He was like, put your hand down. I was like, what the fuck?
He didn't have time to change his speech, I guess.
It's because it was never about the information. The important thing was that this doctor of anthropology was seen giving a lecture on a college campus about how dangerous global warming is and how the ice caps are melting. That was the only thing that was important. Because it meant that he got his funding because he didn't commit the heinous crime of saying anything that was against the narrative. Which is the same shit that they killed all sorts of different highly respected scholars for throughout all of history. And those who commit themselves to a life of academics will sit there and have that chip on their shoulder. They're like, if only people had more respect for science.
Hogsmeade, here I come.
And you know, all this awful shit that happened to people like Socrates and Galileo, it never would have taken place. And then they just...
Yeah, so, David, I know there's no shot clock in high school basketball. I know that's a pretty common thing. My solution would be, instead of having a shot clock, if a team decides to hold the ball to try to win a game by just never shooting or passing, the other team should be allowed to just punch them until they take the ball away. I think that's like the best way to deal with that solution.
Well, the way to deal with it is to outfox them. If they do that shit, all you got to do is foul them, because then they only get 2 free throws. And if all you do is chuck threes, you'll score more than they do, and then you're the one who sits on them. Yeah, there was a shot clock at my high school's basketball games. I don't know.
Nice to see you, my
That was
young
like a
friend.
first for me hearing about things. No shot clock in high school. But what the fuck? I don't even... I've never seen that before. Is this a recent thing?
Yeah, I actually saw this story recently.
No, I mean, is the no shot clock in high school basketball
I
a
think it
recent
might
thing?
be in Oklahoma specifically.
Okay, maybe. Because I'm like, well, you know, I graduated from high school in 2009. It's been 14
Healing potions are
years.
a specialty here, should you need any.
Jesus Christ. Where'd my life go? Damn. Next year, it's going to be more years since I graduated from high school than what my age was when I went to high school. Lord. We're the boomers now.
Okie dokie, boomer. Okay, groomer.
I hope to see you again. Farewell for now.
Let's see here. Maxima and Idurus. Let's see if I can make them. That would feel way more satisfying than just buying them. "40 states in the U.S. do not mandate a shot clock in high school basketball." Wow. At that point, it's not even the same sport. You're basically playing a completely different sport.
Yeah, take out the three-point line too. Let's just make that completely 1950s basketball. I just thought there was another rule you'd have to institute if you wanted it to be 1950s basketball.
Was it 2 pinches of Angelica or 3?
Fucking shit. Oh man, folks, there's a reason Joe Fulks was a Hall of Famer back then.
Alright guys, I'm going to take a short break on that note, so be back in a few minutes. Everyone just hang out for a second. And I'll be back.
Gilbert, you're gonna get in trouble again.
Okay, we are back. And yeah, I do agree. I do feel like if this game was more like Dragon Age, KOTOR, Mass Effect, and gave you an active party, that would have been the thing to really push this game over the edge.
Yeah, and at the same time, I understand why they didn't do it. It's because of a very simple reason. They weren't making a good RPG that was Harry Potter themed. They're focusing on making a Harry Potter game. And then they just made it in the way that they wanted to make it, but it was supposed to be that, like, in the development cycle, they're not sitting there like, okay, let's make a great fucking RPG. This is gonna be this generation. It just happens to be Harry Potter themed. Like a good example for me is the Chronicles of Riddick game. Escape from Butcher Bay was one of the best action and stealth games of that generation, and one of the best games based off of a movie ever made. Because the guys making it were like, let's make an amazing fucking action stealth game, and then just have it be this Chronicles of Riddick thing.
Yeah. That is what is amazing to me about Knights of the Old Republic. They could have just made a Star Wars game, but they decided to make an RPG.
Mm-hmm. Also, they really need a Quidditch minigame. It's not a Harry Potter game if there's no Quidditch minigame.
Does it
I was
get
watching
any more
some-
cozy than Hogsmeade?
I was watching a video earlier today of the PS1 Harry Potter game. Like, I forgot how deformed Dumbledore was, too. Like, he's really bad, too.
But again, that looked fucking amazing back in the day.
Hello there.
God, my
In the
frame
market
rate
for
is terrible
potions,
every
are
time
we?
I go to Hogsmeade.
What can I do for you today?
We need a patch ASAP.
A wise decision. Thank you.
Can I read the recipe when it's in
I
my
hope to see you
inventory?
again. Farewell.
And I can't wait to see how this game runs on the Switch.
Like shit!
It's going to get ported later this year. It's going to be hysterical to see people trying to play that bullshit. Yeah. It's going on the Switch. I made some cute anime girls with it, and see, they should have made this a mini game. Potion brewing should not be like automatic. It should be like, at least make something like Breath of the Wild.
I'm sure on the Switch it's gonna end up looking like the fucking horrifying Red Dead 2 on lowest settings shit.
Yeah, remember Call of Duty games on the Wii?
Yes.
That shit was amazing. Frickin' Bracken Fire Kraken Sis Boom Ba. Oh, I forgot. Forgot to get something. Yeah, so tomorrow is your Sunday, right?
Yes.
Alright.
Sometimes it seems all roads lead to Hogsmeade.
So apparently Daniel Radcliffe is actually really short in real life, like he's a manlet.
Who is?
Daniel Radcliffe.
We have everything a young student might need when it comes to potions. Have a good look around.
Apparently he has this quote he said once where he was like,
Whoa, dude, he's 5'5".
yeah.
He's legally a dwarf. I think Peter Dinklage is taller than him. Anyway, go on.
He had a quote once. He was
wise
like, you know,
decision.
sometimes I feel
Thank you.
self-conscious about the fact that I'm really short, but then I think, oh, fuck that, I'm Harry Potter. When it comes to, like, picking up women and stuff.
I probably think he's Dobby.
I hope to see you again. Farewell for now.
It's kind of crazy how big a deal height
Wow.
is.
Emma Watson's the tallest one of the trio. Oh, never mind. She was just wearing crazy long heels. Emma Watson and Daniel Radcliffe have the same height. Rupert Grint's only 5'8". Good lord.
Yeah. And that height stuff is no joke. Like, our mutual friend, Moogle, has said before that, you know, he honestly feels like his life would have gone completely differently if he wasn't 5'8".
Oh yeah, I completely agree. Because like Moogle's pretty handsome. You know, anytime he's ever talked about, you know, some of the difficulties he's had, I've always been like, dude, I can't fucking believe that shit. 'Cause I'm sitting there like, he's way better looking than I am, but I'm actually 6 foot tall, so I guess that's why.
Yeah.
It's over for short cells.
When I was younger, I was projected to be like 6'4", but there was like a year where I basically wasn't eating anything and it stunted my growth. I basically stopped eating for like a year.
Yeah, I was also projected to be 6'4" because my height shot up drastically when I was super young, and they were like, holy shit, this kid's gonna grow up to be a fucking giant. But it turns out that I just got all my growing out of the way immediately. So I was like fucking 12 and I was already 6 foot tall, but I just stayed this height for the rest of my life.
I'm 5'10". Okay, let's see here.
Now remember, the average male height in the United States is actually 5'2". You let in way too many Mexicans. There are so many short Mexicans, man. It's insane when you walk around town out here and you see guys walking around who are complete adults who are like 5'2". I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah. When you think about it, though, given the fact that Harry Potter spent like the first 11 years of his life being denied food and barely being able to eat, he shouldn't be tall. He should be short. That makes sense.
Magic. Magic, plus he's the main character of a series that was written by a woman, so I'm pretty sure he's like 7'5" in the books or something. He's as tall as Baron Trump. You remember the Photoshop picture? They got the family, and all you see is like Baron's ankle because he's got suicide. I fucking love that
How
one.
nice to see you, my
Oh,
young
man.
friend.
You're only saying that because you're not very good at it. good way to get attention, that is.
What?
Being good at Quidditch.
Oh, not another one fawning all over Isaac Cooper.
There's this one channel I follow on Instagram. It's called That Tall Family. Basically, it's a mother and father, and the mother is like 5'9", and the dad is like 6'4". So they, have multiple kids, assuming that they would be tall. And the oldest one is 16 years old, and he's already 7'1", so it worked.
I've always said that travel broadens the mind.
I am practically nothing for my entire teenage life. I'm 6 foot even and a bit bitter about what I held myself back from by neglecting my nutrition. Don't feel bad about that kind of thing. Because I know lots and lots and lots of extremely tall guys who are also rail thin because they barely eat. Diet's got an impact, but it's less to do with the way that your bones and your growth plates fill out, which is what would affect your height. A lot more to do with your musculature. So if you were ever to start like working out and you had a really tough time building muscle, that would probably have more to do with not eating than being short. Beta, yes, that's correct. I'm just fucking around, dude. Like 99% of the things that I say is just me fucking around. Oh man, because what's crazy is that the average height for males in the Netherlands is either 5'11" or 6 even, and it's the tallest average height for males in the entire world. And that's because, very strangely, the Netherlands is almost like an ethno-state. There are very few people living there that aren't Dutch. And the reason that's relevant is because in a lot of melting pot democracies that allow many, many different kinds of ethnicities in their country, height is different for different ethnicities. A lot of Europeans will be much taller. Africans, of course. Central American descendant, mestizos, gonna be on the shorter side. A lot of Southeast Asians gonna be on the shorter side. But I don't know what part of Asian you'd specifically refer to it as, but they're sort of like Southeast Asians for me is what I consider being like, the ones who are more brown. They're more like the Pacific Island ones. And then you have the kind of Asians where they're much more light-skinned, where you're talking about Koreans, Chinese, Japanese, Vietnamese. The average height is low, but I think that has more to do with the diet than anything. Because in a country like in South Korea, where they do eat a lot more, influenced by American culture, they're super fucking tall compared to a lot of other Asians. And it's crazy. I'm sure you've seen the picture I've shown many times where they have the border guards. You got the American border guard who's the tallest. You got the South Korean border guard who's only a few inches shorter than him. And then you have the North Korean border guard in the same picture. It's like a fucking man. It's like 5'3". So democracies like the United States and like the United Kingdom and others, where a lot of people all over the world want to come in, is going to bring the average height down. Because a lot of people who are from parts of the world where men are just shorter will be skewing the whole thing down. Kind of nuts.
All right, 1 second, guys. I just played with some settings. I'm going to restart the game and see if that helped anything with the frame rate. I just looked something up, and it indicated that if you adjust your ray tracing settings, it can help. So give me 1 second here. You know how men are always leaving the toilet seat up. That's the joke.
That's the joke. Yeah, I'm looking at the demographics of the Netherlands right now. The country is basically 3/4 Dutch, and then of the remainder, almost the entirety of it is other Europeans, which makes sense because it's, you know, the European Union. But it's just going to be a lot of Europeans from the surrounding area. You know, French, Germans, Belgians. Pretty much it. Bonkers.
By the way, I'm planning to go until about 1 tonight.
Alright.
Just so you're aware.
Holy shit, it's already 11.
By the way, if you want to play something tomorrow, but you don't feel like doing Lego, I think the Power Wash maps are out.
Yeah, they've been out. I already downloaded the update. I don't know if you have too.
I think I have. So we could give that a try if you want to. Hey, that's better.
I completed your assignments, Professor.
Good. You should be ready to learn Depulso. Let's see what you can do.
Would you turn your settings down?
Concentrate.
I turned off
Do
ray
not
tracing.
Let your mind wander.
Ah.
And so far, so good, but we'll see what happens when I get into a busier area.
That was definitely the smoothest cutscene I've ever watched since you started playing.
Yeah.
You've got it now.
The gameplay
If you'd
looks
like
really
to
smooth,
practice,
too.
and I think you should. Perhaps best not to go flinging your classmates about the halls. I suggest having a go at the enchanted books here.
Okay, let's see what happens here. Depulso. Ah, repels. Okay.
Depulso.
Well done.
Accio.
Staunchly determined to master your spellcasting.
I remember
Depulso.
many years ago.
Accio.
Many years ago. Almost
Still at it, I see. Well,
like 15
repetition
fucking
can
years
be an
ago.
excellent teacher.
One of the first times I was on GameFAQs, long before I made it to the NBAB. I was on the Harry Potter board, and they were doing a choose your own adventure for the board.
Yeah,
the Harry Potter adventure.
I remember those topics.
And it was like Harry one night he's laying in bed and he gets bored, so he just waves his wand around and he says cheeseburger fi, and then he turns his dong into a cheeseburger. And he doesn't know how to fix it, and he's too embarrassed to tell someone. So everywhere he goes, people just like, "Oh Christ, Potter, you smell like rotting meat."
Oh my god.
Oh man, that's good stuff. Father's like 5'6" and definitely got more the native side with height and not the Swedish, but I got more the Swedish and I'm 6 foot with our heritage. I mean, yeah, count yourself lucky and don't ruin any Japanese hotel rooms by how tall you are.
Ooh, flying class. All right.
I love I love reading stories about some of the heinous shit that Andre the Giant did, because he spent a lot of time in Japan. So, you know, he's Andre the fucking Giant, and then like basically what he'd have to do in Japanese hotel rooms, because they were made for someone who's like 1/5 his size.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, I was reading a story once where he couldn't use the toilet, obviously. He couldn't even use the bathtub. So what he ended up doing is he just laid down a bunch of newspapers on the bed and he would just take a shit on the mattress on top of those newspapers. And from the sounds of people who had to clean it up, it was basically that scene in Jurassic Park where they're going through the Triceratops poop.
Holy shit, so I just teleported myself outside where the game typically has issues. It looks way better. Like,
Nice.
I'm not getting any noticeable frame stutters. I don't know if it's 60, but it's close. So, I guess they need to fix ray tracing in this game, and everything will be copacetic.
Did you have ray tracing active in Dead Space when you were initially having problems?
I'm not sure. I can't remember if I did or not. I never checked that.
Because I think what all this might just be is that games that they're developing nowadays, as they're pushing them out, and they're essentially console ports.
Yeah.
They might just not have the whole ray tracing thing figured out yet.
Mr. Clopton, your attention, please.
These are some drop frames, so let's see how long it takes to snap
Yeah,
out.
Everyone,
saw
please
that.
welcome a new student to
Okay,
our
now it's
flying
smooth.
class.
Yeah,
The goal of
it took a
today is
minute.
to
I think it was
remind
just
all
because
of you how to
there was a lot of
maneuver on a
movement there at
broomstick
first.
safely.
Yeah.
As broom flight is, first and foremost, a means of transportation. This, I fear,
Is this
some
character
of you have
racist?
forgotten.
Yes.
She's doing
Diving,
like the
rolling, and
stereotypical
loop-de-loops
Chinese
will
accent.
not be taught or in fact tolerated in this class. We'll leave that to professional Quidditch players, like the Toyohashi Tengu. Not a fan, I take it? Now, let's see how well everyone kept up with their practice over the summer
Which,
holidays.
based off of the team
For
that she
those who
just
need a
named, plus her
refresher,
name is
step
Kogawa,
up to
this
your
character's
broom,
obviously
stay up
Japanese.
firmly
But this is
and
weird
clearly,
because this is
then
taking
kick your leg
place
over and rest your weight on the seat.
when this is before the Commodore Perry and the Meiji Restoration. This is the Japan is still closed.
Thank you.
Right.
Now, your turn.
So how'd she end up in
Stupid
England?
ratty school broom.
Up.
Whoa, I think I'm getting a little bit
One
of a
leg
glitch
over,
there.
so there's a leg on each side.
All
None of
right.
that
Did you press
side
down
saddle
and it came
nonsense.
up?
A gust of wind will throw you
No,
right
my
off.
fingers like passed through the broom.
Oh.
It was a minor thing, but
I don't mean to alarm you, but I think your character might be a Highlander.
And if you hear my whistle while you're in flight, ground yourself
I
at
am an
once.
immortal. There can be only one.
Good. Now, for your first lesson, fly through each
Okay,
ring
you're on
in
a
the
broom.
courtyard.
They can't stop you now.
Take
It's time for
care.
drive-by
The
of
brooms
Avada
are
Kedavras.
school property.
Wish I had my own.
I
broom.
want them returned in one piece.
Alright, I'm just gonna leave the school. Oh. See, it's not real
Oh.
open world. If this was real open world, it would be like GTA and I could get like a wanted level. Theft of school property.
You just fly right off of school grounds, and then they just start spawning ghost leviathans. Oh man, that'd be hilarious.
Yes. Good. And lean.
Okay.
Well done.
So it seems like the
Now
frame
that
rate's
you're
just kind of
acclimatized to your
inconsistent
room,
now.
Let's see how well you manage with a more advanced exercise.
Sometimes
shall
it's
we?
good, sometimes it's not.
I think it's because of her hair.
This next set of rings
Oh.
will take you around the grounds for more of a challenge.
There we
What
go.
a view!
Hello. Nice day for a flight.
Oh yeah, technically this game hasn't come out yet, so day one patch could be tomorrow, you're right. I just realized that by being one of the
Wish
early
you
access
could've
buyers, I
experienced
was one of the
crossing the
lab
lake as
rats
the
for them to
first
figure out what they needed to fix in their game. God damn it.
Sucker. Nice sweater, Potter. Did your mom knit it for you?
Whoa, our aquatic resident likes to make an appearance once in a while.
Shit. Well, you know, our teacher's Japanese, so she's very familiar with the idea of a giant squid.
He's also very familiar with the idea of a suicide dive in flight. Oh wait, that hasn't happened yet.
Oh, well done! Have a moment?
You know how bad the CGI was in the first Harry Potter movie of the Quidditch scenes?
I say, I watched you fly through those rings. You seem to handle yourself on that dusty school broom well enough. I'd imagine you're ready for something a bit more challenging. But I'm getting ahead of myself. We met in the common room. I'm Everett Clopton.
Oh,
So,
yeah. I
care
remember
to
you.
join me for a bit of high-flying fun?
Hell yeah.
Can't say no to that. What did you have in mind?
A bit of a detour, so to speak. Follow
What is
me.
wrong with your voice, dude? I think this character was supposed to be a
The tour is
goblin,
about
and
to begin.
they messed up the
Follow
character
closely now.
model.
Right now, we're flying over the Transfiguration Courtyard. Lovely as ever.
I don't think he was intended to be a
Let's hope the
goblin
headmaster
because his
isn't
name
having
isn't
tea by the
Goldstein.
window today.
Apparently, it is a genuine criticism of this game that it's
Nice to get above
anti-Semitic.
it all,
Like,
isn't it?
unironically, people have said that.
Why?
Because
Ahead of the garden.
the main enemy of the
Hufflepuff
game
common room
is a
windows
goblin.
Just peek out.
The main
Bit
villain
claustrophobic for
is
my
a goblin.
taste.
How is Everett flying so quick?
Here's something handy to know. Lean forward for a burst of speed. Helpful if you need to escape a tricky situation.
I guess I'm not gonna say anything.
Now that's more like it. You sure you're not part hippogriff? There's the famous bridge. Think of all the magic holding it up. I mean,
See, what's
look
weird
at
is that visually, the
And
guy in
the
front of you,
algorithm.
his broom keeps
That's a bit
disappearing,
of
so it looks
solid
like he's just floating.
architecture, isn't it?
Flying tips and a jaunt around Hogwarts. This is quite the tour, Everett.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. Okay. Get back here. Why does my robe keep flying up like I'm Marilyn Monroe in the 7-Year Itch or
That's
something?
Kagawa's whistle. This concludes our tour. Let's
Oh
hurry
god.
back.
Oh god. My robe is going through my ass.
Better hurry and hand in our brooms. Dismount here.
Oh my god, I just shattered my legs. My
And
legs are
where
shattered.
have you two been?
Jesus. Just hit the ground at Mach 7. Yeah.
Oh, hello,
Another
Professor.
happy landing.
We were trying to get a bit of extra practice in. Hefty points will be taken from each of you for not following my instructions.
Give a fuck about points.
Mr. Clopton, I'm disappointed in you. You're in this class because you're still not showing yourself, or frankly, your broom the proper respect.
But, Professor...
Enough. Class is finished for the day. As for you, you do well to use better judgment in the future. Chin up. That was some rather good flying.
Digital Foundry isn't doing a video about this game because...
Sorry about that
Well.
business with Kagawa. But you have to
Nice.
admit, those views were worth it.
When your professor said that you should show better judgment in the future, you should have squeezed both of her boobs and said honk honk. That's what my character would have done.
Perhaps, but we did get in trouble, and Kagawa could hold it against us.
Rotten luck, that. I didn't think she'd see us. But it's no matter. You seem at home on a broom. Bet if you had a fancy model, you could fly laps around Imelda. She's Kagawa's favorite. I could show her a thing or two if I had my own broom. Hate having to return the school broom after class.
Perhaps I have to purchase a broom, then?
If you can, you should. Wish I could. I recommend visiting Albie Weeks at Spintwitches in Hogsmeade. He's always looking to test new models. I'll keep an eye out for you in the sky.
Hopefully it's like Grand Theft Auto, and I can steal a broom, because I don't have any money. Yeah, Mad Wolf, I would have been fine with Hutchinson winning it, but I don't get the Sauce Gardner thing. Like, all he does is commit penalties and get away with it. I do not get that one, personally. Yes! We're going back to the Bane mask. Yes. Oh, I'm so happy. I get to be Bane again. Okay, we're going to Hogsmeade. This will be an interesting test for the frame rate. Do you have a program, Snacks, on your computer that, like, shows you your frame rate live, like in the upper left corner or upper right corner?
Craps.
Oh, craps? Okay, I'm going to have to maybe get craps. Oh, holy shit, it does look better. Wow.
I said fraps.
Ah, fraps. Alright, I'm probably going to have to grab that one.
In the market for potions, are we? What can I do for you today?
But that one's ancient, so there might be something more, recent. Oh, Sandy says you can do it on Steam.
Okay.
I hope to see you again. Farewell for now.
Hello, Mr. Pippin. You need help with a delivery?
Yes, I do. A capable student such as yourself should have no trouble making the trip to Cambridge. It's just south of Hogwarts.
What do you need delivered?
Fatima Lawang ordered a few invisibility
Wang?
potions.
Fatima
I used to go myself,
Lawang?
but lately Fatima has taken to turning every visit into an argument. Constantly complaining about the quality of my stock. But how can I maintain excellence when she orders so often, giving me no time to brew? If you take this rather irritating task off my hands, I'd happily allow you to claim the delivery fee from Fatima.
I'd be happy to help with the delivery.
You've no idea how grateful I am, truly. Here are the invisibility potions she requested. Hopefully she won't give you too much trouble. She's a talented potioneer in her own right. I dare say I wouldn't mind having a look at her potion recipes one day.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Okay, let me try out what Santi just recommended here. Okay, so Steam settings, in-game.
What?
Alright, no, I'm just trying to get the thing on the screen. Huh. I'll probably have to restart the game to actually get it to work because I don't see it right now, so I'll figure it out later. I assume you do. For most things, you have to restart the game for it to work. So I'll try it later. I'm not going to restart it right now. Cat. Somehow Palpatine returned. Rust in Steam? Okay, let me see. No. Alright, so I'll just see if it works when I restart the game. That's fine. I don't need it right this very moment. Haven't seen you around, by the way, T-Boda, very much lately. What's up, man?
Wonder who lives here.
Bitch, you live like this? It's all over. For short cells.
Yes. Only dogs are winning in the 21st century. When I play Rust, when I hit F8, it pops up my frames. I'm pretty sure hitting F8 deletes System 32 off of your computer. Nice try.
Used to play the Alt F4 trick with people on Minecraft.
What about F10?
Protego! Stupid one. Accio! Stupid one. Stupid one. Incendio!
Legs is simply too many.
You know, I've wondered if I should try Rust. I've seen people play it. It looks interesting, but I don't know if I'd be able to get into it or not.
Because it's a survival game, but it's a PvP survival game, something like this.
Yeah. It looks like Minecraft with much more intricate gameplay, honestly. Yeah, it seems like one of those games where people are just mean to you because being mean is the only way to survive.
Well, it is a school simulator, so... School was so awful.
What if they made an MMO game that was basically just going to school?
I know a Merlin trial when I see one.
And you could choose to, be an hero?
Did you just say you could choose to am hero?
Yes.
Jesus Christ. That's pretty good. I feel like there'd only be two types of people playing that game. People who would say things like, don't come to school tomorrow, guys, and then just, go ape shit in that fucking game. Or people who would just, try to be, the biggest slut ever or some shit. There wouldn't be any other kind of people playing it.
I'll never forget. I'll actually, unironically, never forget the day of the Columbine shooting, because that morning, before I was even awake, me and my brother, my mom came into the bedroom. You know, me and my brother were still in bed, and she was like acting really upset, and she said, "I just want to say that I am so happy that you two are homeschooled." And I was like, "Why?" I had no context. And then she just left, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And then I got up, and eventually I realized that, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure Columbine wasn't the first school shooting, but it was I think it was significant because there were a significant amount of deaths, and I think those two, Dylan and Eric ended up firing thousands of rounds during their rampage.
Seems pleasant enough little place.
The earliest known United States shooting to happen on school property was the Pontiac Rebellion School Massacre on July 26, 1764, where 4 Lenape American Indian entered the schoolhouse near present-day Greencastle,
Madam
Pennsylvania,
Luang,
shot and
I
killed
have a
schoolmaster
delivery from J.
Enoch Brown,
Pippin's Potions.
and killed 9 or 10 children.
Sent a child to do his work
Wow.
for him, did he? Always cutting corners and taking the easy way out. Did he have your brewing for him as well? Doesn't matter. You could probably do it better than he can anyway.
I remember actually reading a oral history of Columbine, basically going through the timeline. And the thing that I kind of took away from it was like, man, these guys shot literally thousands of rounds and only killed like maybe a dozen kids, I think. I was like, if these kids weren't terrible shots, it could have been a lot worse. But then I started thinking about how, like, even in, I think they said, like, the war in Afghanistan, there would be 10,000 rounds fired for every one bullet that actually hit a target. And I was like, well, I guess that's just the nature of automatic weapons.
Well, no, in the case of actual wars, it's different because of the concept of fire and maneuver. As you have a base of fire, which is laying down suppressive fire.
You think it's so simple?
Those are not rounds
I
which
know
are actually
Pippin is
intended
always
to hit a
trying to
target. If
cheat
they
his
do,
customers.
it's fantastic.
Cutting corners
But
to
that's
save
not
some
the
galleons
intent.
for
The
himself with
intent
expensive quality.
is to lay down
You'll
such an
not be getting
intense
a
and
nut out of me until
extraordinary
you prove the
volume
potion
of
works.
fire
Drink it.
that those who are being fired upon do not have the ability to move from cover. They're stuck. They're fixed in place.
Seems simple
Then you have
enough.
an assault
I'll
squad
do
which
it.
moves
I
around.
should think
That's the
so.
maneuver part. They maneuver around to get behind the enemy's cover emplacements. They're the ones who actually fire rounds which are intended to kill the targets, shoot and kill the enemy. So, in the process of what they're doing, even while they're maneuvering,
It
they're
seems to
still
have
laying
worked.
down covering fire to continue to
Well,
add to the
I suppose
suppression.
that will
So,
do.
If the demand for potions is as
in
high as
an
you say,
average
you consider
firefight,
being
let's just
easier
say
to work
squad
with.
level firefight
Perhaps
during,
combining your recipes
for
and
instance,
skills.
World War II. You
Not
might
a
have
chance.
5 or 6 guys
That
firing
ne'er-do-well
2 or
had his
3
shop
magazines
handed
worth of
to him.
ammunition
The rest of us have
just
to make
to
our
take
own
out
way.
an enemy
I'll not
squad of
give
maybe
him the
3 or 4
benefit of
guys.
my hard work and gumption. If he fails on his own, so be it.
So what you're saying is that the Columbine shooters were just shitty shooters.
What they were doing is they were just going apeshit. They're just like spraying around just to, have. For
You mentioned
them,
that more and more
presumably,
customers are trying to stay
based
out of
off of
sight.
survival reports, footage that we
Well,
have
I can't
available, and all
speak
the
for all
insane
of
shit
them,
they'd written,
but certainly my
they're basically
Ashwine
just going on a
customers
power
have
trip.
their reasons.
It's the
If
same
I
thing
were
like when
you,
guys are
I'd
celebrating
forget
and they
I
have
had
guns in their
that.
hands, they just start shooting them in the air, sort of like, I'm
Very
going
well.
on a
I shall
rampage.
let Mr. Pippin
rah."
know I delivered the potions as requested.
You do that.
What do you have for sale?
Yeah, like
What are we looking for
when I
today?
read the oral history, the thing that kind of stood out to me was it seemed very random. They weren't trying to kill as many people as they could. They just wanted to kill some people. Like there were several students that like kind of stood up to them, and they would just let them go. Like they ran into one kid, and the kid was like, "So are you gonna shoot me or what?" And they were like, "Man, get out of here."
They essentially had a hit list. They didn't hate everybody, so they didn't shoot everybody. Hey Santi, since you're in here, let me ask you a question. I was talking with Joker a little bit ago about that OK Boomer girl, Nico
Thank you for
Lull or
stopping
whatever,
in.
and I said I
I
would pulverize
appreciate
her
it.
cheeks. So I did a quick Google search to find out whatever happened to her, and they said that she's actually Native American. So what's your opinion of that girl?
I think she looks like she's a 6-year-old who got into her mom's medicine cabinet. I'm sorry, makeup
Makeup,
cabinet.
yeah.
I don't get the appeal.
I was specifically referring to Santi's opinion, but thankfully we have yours now too, Joker.
Yeah. I mean, she does have a tremendous rack, but the face just doesn't look good.
Watching the stream with Hawkness from earlier and seeing the confused reaction, Denny Kellington is the Bills trainer who got the MVP vote from Sue
Yeah,
Koger.
I figured that out, David. I looked it up and figured it out. So somebody
I
literally...
thought
Yeah.
I thought that was a typo, and it was you were actually talking about a celebration going on. Denny's Killington, or
Okay.
fuck it. She looks like
So,
she could be an 8th or something.
just so you have context, Snacks. Earlier today, the NFL released all their MVP votes. They show who everyone voted for. And one person voted Denny Kellington in 5th place for MVP voting.
Yeah, I saw the thing. Yeah. And because they said that they gave him the 5th place vote out of respect for his efforts for DeMar myocarditis.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. There's something about that I find to be really, really, like, I don't know.
I know exactly what you're talking about, because I mean, at least for the love of God, thank you that it was the 5th place vote, as opposed to some of the heinous shit that we've seen over the years. I think we've had 2 or maybe 3 unanimous MVP votes in the time since, but I remember LeBron in the 2013 season had all but 1 unanimous votes for his MVP season, because the other guy was a Knicks fan who voted for Carmelo Anthony because he said, well, Carmelo's doing, he's doing what he's doing with a lot less than LeBron has. To me, that's more impressive. But he was a fucking Knicks fan.
Yeah.
So it's like, how is that okay? And then we've had like 2 or 3 unanimous MVPs since. It's like, really, guys? 2013 LeBron didn't get it. Fucking 2000 Shaq didn't get it. Come on.
Well, to me, it would almost be like if 2 years ago somebody voted Anthony Fauci for NFL MVP because he saved the season by making, like, it would be like that. It's like, stop that shit. Like stop.
Yeah,
being performative.
okay. I know what you're saying. It's like, yes, 5th place is basically, a waste of a vote that doesn't really matter anyway. But voting for someone who literally doesn't even play is just insulting.
Glad to hear it.
Yeah, it's
And thank you
performative.
again
It's
for your
trying to
help.
be. It's trying to like.
More to
win.
the point, this is the really big problem that could happen is that it will encourage more people to do that in the future.
Likewise.
So imagine somebody
every bit
votes
of that
for like
delivery fee to have
RuPaul or
someone
something
capable deal
for
with
their
that
efforts
witch.
in
Best of luck
spreading
with your
car part
potions, Mr.
awareness.
Pippin.
Do take care.
It's all like, this isn't even about sports
Revelio.
anymore, is it? It's just dumb.
What's dumb?
That, the vote.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I see.
Because you know who should have gotten that 5th place MVP vote instead?
Who?
Tom Brady. He also should have gotten the 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st place votes. Because he spits on fire.
Tua actually got 1 MVP vote.
Well, fuck. Then the Dolphins medical staff should have gotten it for sending him out there to fucking die. Jesus Christ.
Pardon me, but were you saying something?
Oh, hello.
Oh, there you go.
Talking to myself. I'm Clementine Willardsey. Charmed. I was musing on the precious butterflies I see near the edge of the forest. Whenever I come near, they fly off into it. When I was at Hogwarts, we truly were forbidden from entering the forest. Told horrible stories about it, and I've had an irrationally intense fear of it ever since. It's silly, but I'm insatiably curious as to where the butterflies go in the forest. You couldn't possibly find out, could you?
You want me to follow the butterflies?
So who won?
Yes, if you wouldn't
Who won
mind.
what?
The actual MVP.
Oh, Mahomes.
Okay. Who was
Which
second?
it was a pretty clear, obvious winner this year. Second place was Jalen Hurts. Third place was Josh Allen. Fourth place was Joe Burrow.
I'm not hearing Matt Eraser's name.
What were the horrible stories you were told about the Forbidden Forest?
I don't hear any laughter.
Goodness, everything from students being mysteriously beheaded to terrifying spider dens. Ugh,
Just imagine
trust
that.
me, you
That
hear
right there.
at
That would be
11
like an
years old,
all-time
it
great
sticks with you.
Norm Macdonald podcast episode. They got Norm there. They got Funkhauser
well.
there. They
If
got
I
that
have
old
time,
guy who
I
said
shall
I
see
don't
where
hear
they
any
lead.
laughter, and then they have
how
Jerry, and
kind.
Jerry's there, and he
Students
does
these
the
days have so
shtick
much more courage
where
than I ever did.
the stream
You can
got
usually
banned
find
for
me
it.
right around
Yeah.
And then
here.
Funkhauser's
I
just
hope
like
to see
standing
you
there
soon.
open mouth like, oh my god, I can't believe you just said that. And then the old guy, I don't hear any
Don't
laughter.
forget, the butterflies always seem to be on the fringes of the forbidden forest.
The idea is that the AI behind the Seinfeld show is reacting to the chat. So the way the chat reacts to things actually influences what the show does.
In the village circle.
So I wonder if when it comes back, chat is just going to keep trying to find ways to trick the AI into saying stuff it shouldn't.
They better.
EOOMER, please, your dusty mood don't vibe with me. You are old, and so therefore I must say 10-4 dinosaur.
Walk the dinosaur. Open the door, get on the floor. Everybody walk the dinosaur. Open the door, get on the floor. Everybody walk the dinosaur.
Ah, new face. Wonderful.
I've made a mistake. I sat down on the couch petting one cat, and now I'm surrounded by cats who all want attention.
And you just reminded me. Years ago, like over a decade ago on GameFAQs, I got a private message randomly out of nowhere from somebody who I'd never seen before on the NBAB. And they asked me, hey, were you the guy who wrote this Yu-Gi-Oh fanfiction? And then they linked me to a Yu-Gi-Oh fanfiction. Because my username on fanfiction is the same as my username on GameFAQs. And it was indeed a fanfiction that I wrote. So I was like, yeah, that's me. And the story I wrote had the open the door, get on the floor, walk the dinosaur meme. So you just made me think of that.
It's pretty good. I remember one time I got a DM on GameFAQs and somebody asked me if I had written a fanfiction because my username was the same on GameFAQs as it was on fanfiction.net.
Mr. Weeks,
And it turned out to be the Cloud and Tifa fanfic. And I was like, no, I didn't write that one.
Able to come in. Shop's been closed since trade routes were disrupted. Had to travel as far as London to meet with my supplier. And I've only just
But I wish I
returned.
could have, because then I would have
Thankfully, with
patented
inventory.
that using
I presume you're in the market
Geno
for a new
Smith's
broom?
patent attorney.
Got a few rare U-weavers available. Ember Dash, Silver Arrows. Wind-wisps too. No matter what broom you choose, you'll be
That's good
pleased.
comedy.
They're all exceptional, both in
Man, did
quality
it
and
stink.
performance.
And she
You
farted
said
one last
disrupted
time to
trade
set him
routes
off.
caused you to close, Spintwitches.
Terrible it's been. Trade routes reported as unusable. Evidently criminals were overtaking roads, threatening hamlets. I can fly safely almost anywhere, but you try flying with an inventory of brooms on your back. No easy feat. Right then, back to work. If a particular broom takes your fancy, just let me know.
Do you mind sharing more about your brooms?
I have a passion for them. Every detail of every model. Take Wind-wisps, well known for their quality ash handles. You weavers are rare because some fear flying them, likely to do with the yew wand's darker reputation. Then you have the Ember Dash, known for its handsome appearance. Working with brooms every day makes me practically giddy. It's one of many reasons I cherish running this shop.
So, in Harry Potter canon, Harry was literally flying around on a broom when he was 1 year old.
Yes, but it was a child's version of a broom that would only go like 2 feet off the ground.
Yeah, but when you think about it, like, human 1-year-olds can barely walk. Like, that's still probably not safe.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it's like... Well, then again, a lot of things in the wizarding world aren't safe.
Yes, if I remember right, he almost killed the cat by doing that.
Alright, guys, I will be right back. I'm going to take a short break. When I get back, we'll do another hour. See you guys shortly. Alright, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back.
Sounds quite the array of brooms. I'll have a look around. Thank you.
By the way, how did the DD go tonight?
What are we looking for today?
Oh, it was awful. Absolutely awful. I had some bitch friggin' ordered over $100 worth of food from Little Caesars.
Good.
So just so that you could get in your head how big that order
item
had
is
to
of
be.
the highest quality.
Over $100 worth of food. It took me 50 minutes to get all this shit and then deliver it to her house. No tip. So I made like $6 off of that.
That item is of the highest
I'm sitting here like, well, the good thing is, again, my pay adjustment's going to be fat because that's almost 1/3 of minimum wage right now. Like, minimum wage is 2.5 times more than fucking
You'll be thrilled with
$6
that broom. I
an
promise
hour.
you.
So, you know, my pay adjustment should definitely be fat, but it's still fucking annoying to waste that much of your time and that much of your day.
Thanks for stopping by. Whilst nearly any broom will certainly be a step up from the practice brooms in Kagawa's class,
We're not on stream,
they
are
all
we?
have their limitations.
We're about to
You
be.
seem to be a flyer who might be interested in,
Oh.
say, some enhancement.
Because I was going to say
Go
something
on.
based.
Ha! Knew I was
Don't.
right about you. I think you'll be quite happy
What?
with the performance of any
Don't.
broom at lower altitudes.
Don't,
You may
okay.
notice that speed
I thought you said
consistency
go.
tends
I
to
was like,
fluctuate
okay.
and rise. I believe I can remedy this issue. I have some ideas for enchantments, upgrades, if you will, that will improve the performance of any broom you fly. What I need is someone to conduct a broom flight and report back to me so I can perfect the upgrades. As it happens, another Hogwarts student, Imelda Reyes, is using abandoned broom courses for time trials. Clever girl. An ideal situation for collecting flight statistics. If you were to compete for the best time and succeed, then report back to me with how your broom behaved, I could complete work on my first upgrade. What say?
That sounds intriguing. I'll see what I can do.
Thank you. It'll be worth your while. If I'm right, the new upgrade ought to enhance brooms in every regard. And I can give you a special price. The time trial should be a bit of fun too. Go to the Quidditch pitch and Imelda Reyes will sort you out. Once you've beaten Imelda's time, be sure to let me know.
Can't help but admire Mr. Weeks' enthusiasm.
Alright, let's see here.
Wow, it's pretty impressive. So I'm reading a story right now. Apparently in 1997, Pixar was making Toy Story 2. And an employee accidentally deleted the entire film
I know
from the
story.
database.
Yeah.
And, well, the first time for me hearing it, I didn't know this. Apparently some employee was at home on maternity leave, working from home, and had a copy of the movie. So that's how they got it back, so they didn't have to start over from scratch. But they very nearly did have to. That would have been devastating.
Off on another adventure, are we?
I have a somewhat similar story about a Goofy movie. It was originally going to be released in '94, but it ended up being released in '95. Mostly because there was a dead pixel on their original cut of the movie that like had this black dot on screen for the entire film. And the only way to get rid of it was to literally start over and re-render the entire movie.
Wow. That is really impressive. It reminds me of how American History X was actually supposed to be a Goofy movie too, and then Ed Norton got involved with the film and it became what it was. The damnedest thing.
There they are. She wasn't making it up.
Why am I just allowed to go into the Forbidden Forest and not get in trouble? Like I thought
Well,
this was
because back then it wasn't called the Forbidden
Miss
Forest.
Willits, you
Back
might
then
give
it
an
was
answer
just the
about these
forest.
butterflies.
The player that you're playing as right now, your character is what makes it forbidden. Probably why you're allowed to learn dark arts spells in this game.
The Verboten Forest.
Oh boy, that's a little too based.
Caution, centaurs. Oh, there's nothing to be cautious about that. The only thing that's cautious is the size of my... The only thing you need to be cautious about is the size of my erection.
Well, well.
Size for what? Size for opening.
Apparently, I don't know if this is true or not, but apparently Alex Rodriguez has a picture of himself as a centaur in his, like, house. Like, it's a full-on painting, like a portrait. I don't know if it's true or not, but I hope it is.
A-Rod has a painting of himself as a centaur.
Yeah.
There's got to be somebody in the chat who's watched The Sopranos, because that sounds like something like it sounds like when Paulie edited the painting of Tony into being Napoleon or whatever. We were like one season away from him editing that painting into Tony being a centaur. Oh man, that is that sure is something. That really makes me have a newfound respect for A-Rod, because centaurs are, of course, the intellectuals
I've seen you,
and the
Jewel.
superior man's
You let Nora Treadwell go,
fantasy
didn't you?
creature.
You're about to wish you hadn't.
Definitely.
Okay, let's see here.
Does it get any more cozy than Hogsmeade?
I'll say it again.
Oh, please tell me you have an answer for me about the butterflies.
Odd.
Hello, Miss Willardsey.
Well, what happened? Did you find them?
They led me into the forest and revealed a treasure.
Oh, how lovely! I'm glad you were rewarded for your efforts. Perhaps one day I'll be able to bring myself to go into the forest. For now, I'm happy simply knowing there's something so lovely to see, should I dare.
Hashtag read another book.
Hashtag Darth Stinky.
So, for some reason I didn't know this, but apparently after Harry Potter was over, J.K. Rowling has tried to write several, original books, and I guess they all kind of suck.
Yeah. Ow. The days of her being a successful content creator of any kind, I think, are definitely over. Because she doesn't have the same drive and desire to succeed that she did before she became a gazillionaire. Plus, she's also gone batshit insane. As a lot of rich people do when they see how much power and influence they have over people's entire worldview. She's gone bonkers, so I don't think
Yeah. Well, I mean, I personally, I think the last Harry Potter book was dog shit. So it's
I
not like she
completely agree
feels
with you.
strongly.
Yes, I completely agree with you, because I was reading some stuff. This was a long time ago. This was when the 7th book came out, so it's been a while. But I was reading some stuff that said that she wrote a lot of the 7th book at the same time that she wrote the 1st book. And it definitely feels like it in terms of the writing quality. It's just not there because she was trying to set up all these different parallels and try to like bookend the whole series.
Right.
And it just felt fucking weird.
Well,
you know?
the thing is, that book is all plot, no story. It's like, okay, we have to go here to do this, and then we go here to do this. It's like watching somebody do a side quest in a video game. There's no story being told.
Yeah. That too. Like I completely do not get Ron's whole story and journey that he goes through in terms of Dumbledore leaving him the Deluminator and all that kind of shit. Like I don't get it. Like you said, it's all plot but no story. It's like, how the fuck did we end up here? It's just like, hey, this is something cool for Ron to do, and it's all like, what? Why? How? What?
Yeah.
Whatever. I was super disappointed with that book, yeah.
Yeah. And I even liked the 5th and 6th books, which a lot of people didn't care for that much. I thought they did perfectly fine.
Now, that's a surprise to me, because I also love the 5th and 6th books. I didn't know that anybody didn't like them. Well, then, what ones do they like?
Well, I think they like the first 4. Well, it's not a majority. It's not a majority at all. It's just some people, you know, Harry's really, really angsty in book 5, and I think some people got a little sick of it. That's the impression that I've gotten. No, I was not sad that the series ended. The 7th book is dog shit because it has no story. It's like watching somebody collect, like, feathers in an Assassin's Creed game. It's like, we have to go here. Okay, there's a difference between story and plot. Like, there's a difference between telling a story and just having a plot. And the 7th Harry Potter book is just plot. There's no story. We have to do this because if we don't, then we're going to get killed by Voldemort.
There's way too many instances in the book where interesting things are happening, but someone else is doing them, so we don't get to see it. We just have to hear about it.
Right.
Which sucks ass. It's all like, why couldn't we experience that? Because we've been able to experience all of it before.
Like, Harry doesn't learn anything about himself in that book. Like, every other book, he's learning things about himself. He's learning things about the people around him. This book is just like, okay, we have to go on a fetch quest now to find all the fucking Horcruxes or whatever.
Yeah. There is a physical journey because, like you said, it's all fetch quests, but there's no spiritual journey.
It's also paced really badly. They spend like 60% of the book trying to destroy the locket. And then, like, in the last 50 pages, it's like, okay, we're going to find all 4 Horcruxes at once and destroy them immediately.
Yeah, like 1/3 of the book was just camping.
Hey, you.
Which sucked ass.
Yeah.
And, you know, like you're saying, Jesus, so, like, they got, over all of them. So the ring and the diary had already been destroyed before the book even starts. Locket, that whole thing. Cup.
Yeah, the cup.
Tiara.
Nagini.
Snake.
Yeah. The scar.
Harry, cause lol, and then old Voldemort himself. So, yeah, you're right. Within the span of a few chapters, Cup's gone, Tiara's gone, Snake's gone.
I think one of them gets destroyed off screen.
Yeah, that was the Cup.
Yeah,
because
Ron pretends to speak Pulsar tongue so he can get into the fucking bathroom.
That was one of the stupidest fucking things she put in the whole series. It's like, if that had any kind of build up, that would have been an interesting payoff. But Ron literally just mimics the sounds he's heard Harry make.
The rays?
when he
I'll be
said
weak,
open in
Semmi.
Parseltongue before,
Did he now?
and it somehow
Still
worked.
tinkering with his broom upgrade, no doubt.
And then
I tried to help him once. He
they
nitpicked
just
my
decided,
flying
hey,
technique,
why don't we
and
just
that
go
was
down to
end
the
of
Chamber of
that.
Secrets? Because there's
The
probably a
nerve.
dead
Why
basilisk
is
in
he
there
roping
still.
you
It's been
into his
rotting
broom
for the
testing
last 5
silliness?
years.
You've barely
So we just
started
collect a
flying
couple of
from
its
what I
teeth, so
know.
then we can start
Caught
stabbing
wind
these
of you
things.
showing off in flying class with
What?
Clapton.
I don't know
Yeah,
what
like
people have said, but I certainly
I know
wasn't showing off.
exactly
Tell that to the
what you're
rest of the
talking
school.
about. You know,
But it
for
doesn't
most of the
matter.
book, it's
Everyone
moving
knows
at a
that class
snail's
is only for
pace,
beginners,
and then
troublemakers,
suddenly
and bumbling baboons.
you just start
But
going
for some
Mach 2
reason,
over the edge of a
now people
cliff.
think you're competition.
Yeah.
I can't be having that.
Like,
Perhaps
whoa,
I
what the
am
fuck? Slow
competition.
down.
You're not even Slytherin. Could be a useless squib for all I know. Enough of this.
And
Only one way
like,
to find out who's
God,
the
what
better
was
flyer.
it?
I hold one of the fastest times on this course. Let's see if you can beat it. Slytherin
Yeah.
versus Ravenclaw.
I feel like the locket thing was literally like 60% of that book is them trying to destroy the locket.
Yeah, one of the most batshit insane, why would you even put this in there, things that she did, was when Harry's celebrating his birthday in the 7th book, Ron gets him a romance book. It's like how to talk to women.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
Ron was all like, I read this one. It's fucking fantastic. Because, man, if only I had this, I would have known exactly how to end things with Lavender and how to get things started with Hermione.
Yeah.
And then the whole time, Harry's just thinking, why would you give me this when you know I'm dating your sister? Like,
yeah.
that was totally fucking like, JK, why'd you even put this in there?
Yeah, and also, like, there's no final epic battle between Voldemort and Harry. It's just, like, Harry solves a math equation and Voldemort dies.
Yeah, all that really happened was that they circled each other for a while Harry is the one who fucking monologues, which is insane. But as if all that shit isn't enough, he's saying it to an entire crowd of people who are all hearing all these incredible secrets that need to be kept fucking secret. Really shouldn't be spread, and he's just announcing this shit in public. Talking about fucking Horcruxes and shit. It's all like, well, fucking cat's out of the bag now. I guess there's gonna be a lot more Dark Wizards soon.
Could have just been monologuing the Unabomber's manifesto.
Yeah, seriously. Industrial Society and its Future, written by the based Muggle. No, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So,
Can you tell me more about these courses?
you know, it's kind of
Stalling,
okay
here.
how it went. You know, that they
Fine,
had one
I'll
last,
humor This course demands
you know,
focus.
Harry
Requires
shoots
you
off
to
his
anticipate
signature
speed
spell,
and
Voldemort
height
shoots
before
off
every
his one
turn.
last
The others
fucking
test
thing
stamina.
like that.
3
That's
courses
kind
in
of
all.
okay.
Bell ages
But like
ago
you're
by
saying, it
farmers
would have been
didn't.
nice if Harry like actually
Since Black
learned
Hands were
how to
Quidditch,
actually
it was these
do
courses
impressive
or
magic
nothing.
stuff, and then he had.
I made them
It's like
popular
I
then.
liked when
So-
Voldemort was fighting Dumbledore in the 5th movie.
Yeah, that was great.
That was what I wish
Actually,
to
why
Christ
not?
magic
I could
fights
beat your
actually
record.
were, instead
I'm
of
so
what it
looking
ended up
forward to
being,
seeing
because
you
it was
lose.
easier for the special effects departments, where the good guys shoot red lasers and the bad guys shoot green lasers at each other. That is just so fucking stupid. As opposed to like an actual magic fight, where like Voldemort destroys
Bandit.
all of the glass in the entire Ministry of Magic, and then starts shooting at razor sharp broken glass at Dumbledore, which sets up a defensive barrier and turns it all back into sand. That's fucking cool. That is nice.
Yeah. Like, watching that scene, it kind of makes me think, like, this is what the Star Wars prequels could have been if they had just waited a little longer to make them.
Right. Man. And that's why the 5th movie is actually my favorite movie. Well, there's a couple of other reasons. But that was the best magic fight in the whole goddamn series. And then after that, it's all just good guys shooting red lasers, bad guys shooting green lasers, and basically that make it all look like fucking gunshots or some shit. Like it all just looks like gunfights. So sad.
Now that's more like it.
Now this is pod racing.
I'll try spinning. That's a good trick.
Did it?
It's a lot easier to do these when you're not in 800 by 600 resolution.
Yeah, I think some of the quests in Lego Star Wars I'm gonna have to do like out of co-op just so I can actually see what the hell's going on.
This is rather fun. Maybe. Oh, did
What are
anyone
the
else see
smaller
that?
gold rings that you fly through for?
I don't know if they give me like a time bonus or what, but I mean, it wasn't hurting me to fly through them.
I don't even know.
Anyway, the reason why I didn't push back on the idea of going back to the 4-3 is because I kind of agree with it. Like, I'm good with it. It makes sense to me, especially now. Alright, let's see what this bitch has to say.
That's not... You must have cheated, you... Oh! Fine. You won. Don't think this is over. You can't determine skill from one single trial.
Surely my win means something.
Made us, delete us.
But you're still going to have to prove yourself if you want to earn my respect.
What accent is that? Is it like... Is that Scottish? It sounds weird.
Challenge accepted.
Hold on.
Perhaps you have what it takes
I went,
after all.
I went full
We shall
screen
see.
on a YouTube video,
But don't
which
get your
froze on
hopes
me,
up.
so I
The
need
next
to
course near Irondale offers a much
wait for this
tougher
thing to
challenge.
stop being retarded.
You can try to prepare by racing this course again. Just check in at the podium, where the leaderboard is. You can check your time and start the race. We'll see next time if your win here was more than just a fluke. Whilst on an errand for Albie Weeks.
I think things change if you're going to lose to Sai. I think you have to reevaluate, especially given the fact that it would be a lot easier to only have one middle linebacker
I
instead of
suspect
two.
Mr. Weeks will be glad to hear how I fared.
Yeah, the only thing in the 7th Harry Potter book that I like is the conclusion of Snape's story. I thought that was really good. In many ways, it's the only part of that book that has a story. You're like learning something. It's like tied into themes. And I think the conclusion of Snape's story handled everything pretty much perfectly. It explains why he hates Harry, but also why he is so insistent on protecting him.
Hogsmeade, here I come.
Okay.
What?
So, I went full screen on a YouTube video, and all of a sudden my Chrome crashed. And it had such a catastrophic crash that I can't even restore the closed tabs. They're just gone.
Wow, that's weird.
I've literally never seen that happen before.
Mr. Weeks, I was able to set a record on my
That's
broom.
quite something.
Incredible! Miss
I've
Ray's
never
must have been shocked. Tell me, how was the broom?
A little turbulent, and it's wanting for a bit of speed, but it fared well enough. I will say that it tended to drift a bit to the left on certain
Wow,
turns.
that's even weirder.
Heard a slight swoosh when I dipped.
Oh, thank you.
My internet history for the last
That's
hour is gone,
precisely
too.
what
It was
I
like a
needed to know.
shitload of different YouTube videos that I was watching. It's all just
Drifted, eh?
gone.
I shall get to work immediately. Even the naysayers will
What
be forced
the
to admit
fuck
that
happened?
my work's had potential all along.
I'm excited to hear more.
I have a very good feeling about this upgrade.
You know what,
I
grand scheme of
guarantee you'll be
things, I don't even
pleased.
want to know.
Expect to hear from me soon. How to address the issue of altitude as it relates to...
Ooh, I'll bet I can do this now. Like, plot is just literally what is happening on the screen during a movie, or okay, plot is like, okay, Tim Burton's Batman and The Dark Knight both have the exact same plot. They both have the same plot of the Joker is trying to do bad things and Batman is trying to stop him. But The Dark Knight has a story. It has, like, themes that tie into that plot. So that's where those two movies separate themselves, even though they have literally the exact same plot. That's the difference.
Oh, okay. This is just getting weird and weirder.
What's up?
You know what else happened when my Chrome crashed?
What?
Adblock Plus uninstalled itself, and all of my cookies are gone. All of my saved passwords are gone.
Wow.
You can't imagine how inconvenient
Rude. I don't know what to say, dude.
Neither do I. I've never seen anything like this before. I'm looking at my Chrome settings right now, and all of my saved passwords are gone.
I should dismount here.
Wait, what is this one?
This is from going full screen on a YouTube video. What the fuck happened?
Oh, shit. I don't want to enter. I want to land on this platform. Check your Chrome on your phone and see if anything else got purged.
Idea. I'll do that.
Oh, I've been up here before? No, I haven't. I would remember this. Well, I think the goblins are the giant peril in this game. That's the impression that I'm getting. Well, according to some people, the goblins in the Harry Potter universe are utilizing anti-Semitic tropes. Which, I mean... no comment. But, you know, I'm not going to pretend like it bothers me because it doesn't.
Okay, so on my phone, everything's still fine. So it was just for my computer that suddenly all my passwords are gone. What the fuck?
Leviosa.
So anyway, what are we talking about? I heard anti-Semitism.
No, I was just talking about how the goblins in this game are, according to some people, characterized using anti-Semitic tropes. And
see that I never really liked that because like it's hilarious to me, but it's also like really dumb to me. People say that it's anti-Semitic because the goblins are portrayed as short with hooked noses, and they also run the bank.
Right.
So that's anti-Semitism. That someone's running a bank, and then because like they look like a fucking goblin, like they're tiny little fucking dwarves that have gigantic noses. They look like fucking Squidward. No one's ever accused Squidward of being an anti-Semitic character in SpongeBob. In terms of the nose, probably if they go looking. But other than that, they got like fangs and razor sharp claws and shit. Like they look like goblins. The difference between them and goblins from Lord of the Rings movies is that the Lord of the Rings movies goblins had gray skin and they didn't have those same noses. So that's like the only difference. And it's all like, guys, just because it's a fantasy creature that works at a bank does not mean it is a portrayal of Jews. Trying to say that it's offensive to Jews because of the portrayal doesn't have anything to do with Jews. That's the offensive part. Good fucking God.
Well, when you think about it, Hogwarts in real life would probably be a pretty empty place. Okay, not in real life, but in the canon established by the books. Because they only add, like, how many? 50 students per year? So at any given time, Hogwarts, which is supposed to be the only wizarding school for everybody in England, will have, like, maybe at most 500 students. That doesn't really make sense. That doesn't really pass the smell test.
Well, what doesn't make any sense to me is that there are Muggle-born wizards and witches. Now, you could sit there and say that the magic skips a generation and all this, but if everyone's so concerned about purity of blood, and that wizards are dying out because there's just not enough pure-blood wizard families left and all that kind of shit, how are Muggle-born people even able to become magical in the first place? None of that shit makes any sense to me. Could be virus adware, could just be the browser settings got fucked up randomly. I'm thinking it's browser settings got fucked up randomly because I've had my computer like lag when I go full screen on a YouTube video before. Going full screen on a YouTube video has never caused my browser to outright crash. When I reloaded it, AdBlock Plus is uninstalled and then all my passwords are gone. So far as I can see, that is the only changes that have occurred.
What you got for me?
What are you doing out here?
Challenging you to a game of Summoner's Court. I think it's time you faced a real opponent, outside of Ronan's little lesson in charms class. Summoner's Court isn't just a game. It's a battle of skill. A test of a witch or wizard's mettle. What say?
I'm in. Let's do it.
Brilliant! Summoner's Court. The ever-changing game.
Like, Hogwarts should be adding probably a few thousand students every year.
Nothing to it.
Alright, I'll be back in a second. I'm gonna restart.
Shit. Damn it.
I've seen worse. Akio.
I don't think you have, my guy. Probably screwed now.
Try to beat that.
Damn it. I can't time it all of a sudden.
I'll let you have that one. Akio.
Yeah, I'm hosed. Come on, bump into me. Bump into me. Damn it.
All in the wrist.
Okay, so can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So I reset Chrome, and all my deleted tabs are back, and all my passwords are back also.
Lucky shot. Wait, did I win? I won!
Wow.
So I'm gonna chalk that whole thing up to just being, something very odd happened.
We should have bet a few galleons on that round.
But it's over.
Care to go again?
So fuck it.
I'm game for another round.
Grand.
That's weird.
You could use the practice.
I don't know what to tell you, though. Like,
Summoner's Court. The ever-changing game.
I don't even want to know.
Akio. Nothing to it.
Oh, by the way, did you see they're going to make a Toy Story 5 in a couple years? They announced it earlier today.
I did see that. And I saw it because a lot of people were shocked that Tim Allen was saying he's going to come back to voice Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah.
Because they thought that they'd successfully canceled him when Pamela Anderson accused Tim Allen on the set of Home Improvement fucking almost 30 years ago that he apparently exposed himself, he showed her his dick and was like, hey, what do you think about that? And then he was all like, that's outrageous, that never happened. And Pamela Anderson, her explanation was like, well, of course he'd say that. What's he going to say? Oh, yeah, I totally exposed myself back in the 90s. Like, she's all like, just think about the current atmosphere and the current culture and everything. Do you really think he'd admit that he did it? And I'm sitting there and I'm like, well, there's another possibility here too that he didn't do it.
Yeah.
so there's nothing to admit.
A distinct possibility.
I'll let you have that one. Well done.
Well, also, the Buzz Lightyear movie they made without Tim Allen was a huge box office flop.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that. That was the worst movie ever made. In fact, it was the worst thing ever made by a human.
Come now, Leander. There's no need for that.
Fine, you're good. Better than I am, at least. I'll let the others know you're good enough to keep playing.
The others?
I lost 7 matches in a row to Samantha Dale. The others who play Summoner's Court thought that if you couldn't beat me,
I like this
you wouldn't
comment.
be enough of a challenge.
Some sort of goblin hentai
Leander.
or something or
Keep
other. I
practicing
don't know
and
what
you'll
the
get
fuck it's
better.
from.
I suppose you're right. I'll let the others know that your metal's been tested and that you passed.
I think it's probably some sort of like Monster Girl style anime where there's like goblin females but there's no goblin men or some shit. I don't know.
Oh, God.
Anyway, there's a every time we send out a patrol in a goblin territory, the goblin population seems to increase. It's a strange phenomenon. That's good stuff.
God, Pamela Anderson was on Home Improvement. Because I used to watch that show a decent amount because my grandmother liked it.
Handy resource indeed. You're beautified. I'm most pleased to be included.
I don't know how to do that fucking growl. No, I love the Venture Brothers, and these old villains are like worried that they have to fight a hero. They're worried that they're
better
gonna get
keep
their
an eye on
asses
high
kicked.
places around the school for Zenobia's
So this old villain,
gobstones.
he's like, damn it, why couldn't it have been that bearded fellow from Home Improvement? The guy's like, what you mean, Al? Did you used to be the arch nemesis of Al? The guy's like, no, he just seems like a really kind man and he wouldn't hurt me. I don't think so, Tim.
Accio! Just one more gobstone.
Made the mistake of leaving my potions homework in the common room. I'm convinced Peeves.
Revelio!
My parents visited school.
Accio! That's the last of Zenobia's gobstones. I should go and see her.
He said I
Alright. Big. Let's see here. So a long time ago, when Ted Nugent was being approached by a biographer who wanted to write a biography of him, he made up a story of how he got out of being drafted by not shitting for like 3 straight days. And then when he walked into the office where he was going to get, drafted to the army for, I guess, Vietnam, he like massively shit his pants to make them think there was like something wrong with him so they wouldn't take him. And then years later, he admitted that he just made it up for the book because he was trying to come up with interesting stuff to say. I feel like that's probably what some of these women are going to end up admitting in like 10 years.
Oh man, that is absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, he said, I can't remember the exact quote, but it was something like, man, a biographer came up to me and was like, I want to write a book about you, and I haven't done anything that interesting in my life, so I just started making shit up.
I can't. Yeah, I'm sitting there like, oh man, there's no way that could be the case because someone would have, if it was true, someone would have fucking told that story by now. Because as soon as Ted Nugent became famous, they'd have been like, oh man, I remember back when I was in the army, I was in the medical board and we were, taking a look at potential recruits to see if they were fit for military service. And the young Ted Nugent comes in. Of course, I didn't know who he was back then, and dude shit his pants all over the place.
Yeah.
I don't think that would have disqualified you from military service. They'd just been like, okay, get you to wear a GI diaper, and you could still.
I hope you've had more luck than I did.
You could still be used to
tracking
clear a
down
few
my
minefields.
Hello, Zenobia. I found all your gobstones.
Really? I didn't think it was possible. However did you do it?
So yeah, 10 years from now,
Common
Pamela
sense and
Anderson is going to be
basic
like, of course Tim Allen didn't
Well-
expose himself to me.
May I have my gobstones back?
No, she'd have sit there and say, of course Tim Allen exposed
Of
himself
course,
to me. It was
they are yours
consensual.
after all.
Oh, how wonderful. I shall dedicate
Yeah,
all my
that's going to
future
be the big
victories
fucking
to
tell
you.
here. They're like, yes, all those
Speaking of
all those
now that I
incidences
have
of
all my
sexual harassment
gobstones
actually
back,
took place. The only
wonder
thing
if
is that
anyone
I
in the
actually
common
was
room would
asking
be up
for
for a
it. It
game.
actually was consensual.
That's a horrible
Jesus
idea.
Christ.
No one wants to get that awful stench all over them again.
Why not? Gobstones are splendid fun, and now everyone knows the rules. Very well, off I go. Wish me luck.
I wish the Ted Nugent story was real, but he's admitted, like, yeah, I made that up. Already learned it. Guys, thanks for hanging out with me tonight. That's going to do it for the stream. It's about 1 o'clock. I got to get to bed. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll be probably co-oping stuff with Snacks tomorrow, or, well, later today, but we'll see. And everyone have a good rest of your night, and see you guys in the morning. Videos in the morning.